Hey, what is up guys? So this video is going to be a different subject that I really want to talk about, the Justice League and the future of the DC extended movie universe, and specifically some of the criticisms it gets. Now, one constant one I always see is that the movies are way too dark, or that the movies are going to be way too dark, and I think this is a stupid criticism. While yes, visually the movies are dark and the stories in them can kind of hit a low point, I don't think that's necessarily a problem with the movies themselves. Now, let me just quickly talk about this and what I'm talking about. Essentially, every character has a dark point or a low point in their existence. Everybody, if you're going to write a character that's been compelling for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, you have had to have done this. You can't just keep printing out the same old, same old. This is a major problem you get with a character like Spider-Man. Spider-Man, they try not to evolve him. They try to keep him the same thing. Oh, look, he's in high school. Look at his love life, and he's stuck in that for like 45 years, and you just kind of get sick of that. And when they try to evolve him like they're doing with Dan Slott, everybody goes, oh, that's an Iron Man ripoff, it's Peter Stark, lol, 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 lol. And you just kind of go, well, alright, what do you want? You want the character to evolve, but when we evolve him, you don't like it. Now, this applies to the Justice League and DC movie universe in a major way. Take, for example, a character like Aquaman. You guys all know how much I love Aquaman. And the problem that a lot of people are saying with Aquaman is the fact you're going dark right off the bat. The way he looks, the way he's portrayed, the way he is in the stage of his life in the comics, Aquaman's already been around for quite a long time. He should be this funner character, and when the life he has takes a darker turn, when he loses his son, then he goes this dark, grungy guy who hates everything. And if you miss that aspect of it, then you've kind of fallen behind on a lot of elements of Aquaman that you haven't necessarily conveyed to the audience. The audience cannot just come into a movie and root for a dark character without getting the bright side of him. Imagine if the first time you saw Tony Stark in Civil War, or in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was in Civil War. That doesn't seem right. You don't even know how this character got here. So when people constantly say, oh, the characters are too dark, it's like they're not too dark, they're just being approached from a different point of view. Superman, you could see that they were trying to go for a much darker tone with the character in Man of Steel by having him out there, and he's trying to find his place in the world, and the world is a crappy place. So, he's not necessarily having a good time out there, but they never take the time to show us the good times he had. And when they do take a flashback to his dad or anything like that, or his life as a child, it's all about, well, should I have let those kids die? Maybe. Or his dad getting sucked up in a tornado. That's not fun again. So you're approaching the character with total depression at every point in his life. There's never a moment in that movie where we get to just kind of experience a happy child Clark Kent. Maybe the scene where he's running around with a cape tied, or a towel as a cape, maybe that, and that's like the extent of it. And when you look at BVS in the Squad movie, sorry I can't say the first word in it or this video is going to get flagged. So when you look at Squad, you have this giant problem where you're approaching it with in a dark universe that you already set up, and it's getting approached in such a way that you're not leaving much that's happened that's not very dark. I mean, you're already going in there, oh, here's the Joker, and here's Harley, and here's, this master assassin, and here's another assassin with a sword, and you're just kind of like going, okay. And all their flashbacks are, once again, really not that happy. There's nothing to connect us to these characters. I guess the closest you could come to it is El Diablo, but then the next thing you see is when he sees his perfect life, he just takes his kids away, and then he's like, oh, okay, woman, you could go down on me. And once again, that's not a happy moment. That's like, oh, so this, guy is just here for her, doing favors to him that are not about family. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, they're approaching all this from a different angle. And when you have to go compare that to what Marvel is doing, it's a progressively darker universe. When Iron Man 1 started, you never could have told me that by the time the third Captain America movie rolls around that you're going to be looking at that character as a sort of villain to a Captain America movie, you know? You never would have told me that, hey, by the time we get Spider-Man in here, he's going to be in this one way, and yeah, he is going to be a funny kid, or Scott Lang is going to be this criminal, and things like that. You know, it's just this ever-evolving world where they're all going to their darkest points and their, you know, worst points in their life, like 6 movies in. Like, for some, it depends on how many movies they've appeared in, but, you know, like, I guess Iron Man technically 3 standalone movies in. So that's, like, a big discrepancy that these movies have. So, you know, I just kind of want to get that out there, talk about the dark effect that they're having, and also talk about the TV side of things, you could say. When you look at DC, you see how differently they're portraying the Flash in the TV show compared to what he's going to be portrayed at in the movie. And it's almost like a stark contrast where you're just kind of confused and left, well, people like the TV show, why can't we just get that? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You can let me know your thoughts on it down below.